Today, I'm thrilled to have Carolina with me again, a personal stylist who has helped countless women across Europe, the US, and Dubai feel more confident in their style. Last time, we spoke about her journey into personal styling, her wardrobe architect method, and how styling is much more than just fashion. It's about self expression and empowerment. If you haven't heard that episode, be sure to check it out. Since that episode, we have had some great feedback from our listeners, especially middle aged women who are navigating style challenges in their everyday lives. Carolina, I know you are passionate about helping women refine their style and feel amazing in their clothes. So today, we are going to focus on practical everyday style questions that middle aged women often face. Carolina, welcome back to the show. Are you excited?
Hi, thank you so much for having me again. I couldn't wait to have this conversation with you. Yeah.
Okay, so my first question is how can women and especially middle-aged women update their style without, looking like they are trying too hard to be trendy? Or is there even a need to be trendy?
Yeah, that's a very good question. I think the key here is to update wardrobes, but do like small updates. So the most important thing is that you have clarity in your wardrobe and you have there foundation, like a strong foundations of essentials and basics created. And then after that, it's easier to update your style or your wardrobe, just having like small updates actually. And the thing that they always recommend is to do this through accessorizing, right? It's a right way because once you have your foundation ready, if you accessorize is when you can add personality to
Yes.
your wardrobe, in that way.
Yeah.
So you just decide what you have, what you want to add there, on the different categories that we have on
Yeah.
accessories.
Yeah.
You can be like, it can be bags, it can be shoes, belts, scarves, whatever it is. But I always recommend just to do it like this way instead of going and buying more clothes or focusing on trends, So, yeah.
I think also accessorizing also add a flair to your entire look and to your personality when you have got some accessories on you apart from your dress, apart from your clothes. So yeah, so I think yeah, that is a very good point, which is there's no need to be trendy, but what you can do is you can accessorize it
Yeah,
better.
it's important to accessorize, because we have to think about it as like the seasoning of our costume. It's like when you're cooking and then you add like salt, pepper, and other things just to
Yeah.
add flavor to it, right? So when it comes to our outfits, it's exactly the same thing. If you don't accessorize, then it feels like it's not complete at
Yeah,
all,
yeah,
right? So it's important that you add the, and when it comes to express our individuality and our
yeah,
personality, the accessories are great because actually you can choose, right, what resonates more with you. It can be, like I said, scarves,
yeah,
it can be jewelry. So
yeah, yeah,
we are not talking only about like the jewelry, but here comes like hats, scarves, shoes, handbags, so belts. So
yeah,
you
yeah.
can choose actually, okay, what speaks to me, and resonates with me right now.
Right
And
now.
then you go there and you just,
Yeah,
yeah, add that to your wardrobe and make sure that it's very, it's curated, to your
yeah,
taste. You
yeah,
don't keep just
yeah,
buying
yeah.
unintentional. You really pay attention to what you want to put there to make sure that you make it easy for you. Yeah.
So, because you mentioned scarves and belts and, handbags. So, what are some wardrobe essentials that, every woman over 40 or, women in general should, have to make getting dressed easier? Some of the, like, if I have to basically, say five things that must haves, it should have, you should have it in your wardrobe.
So essentials are the main thing that we should have there. Like I said, that's the foundation of everything. So it's important to focus on having things like a blazer, tailored jeans that, are good for your fit, your body shape.
Yeah.
I would say a cashmere or wool,
Yeah.
a knitwear.
Yeah.
Quality leather shoes as well. It can be like ankle boots, loafers, but make sure that what you have is like good quality, timeless outwear. It's like whether you go for a trench coat
Yeah.
or a wool coat, a
Yeah.
quilted jacket.
Yeah. Or
What
a
other
classic
things?
black dress.
A structure handbag.
Yeah.
There are things, and like a white t-shirt.
Yeah.
So those are things, or a button down shirt. It doesn't have to be white. It can even be like the one I'm wearing right now, also like a silk fabric,
Yeah.
just to have like flow and movement on it, and feel comfortable. But it's important that we have at least these essentials to make everything tie the outfits together in a way that is easy. And then from that, again, after that is when we are going to add accessories and we are going to add statement pieces that is going to add the personality, to our wardrobe.
So basically, have it less, but whatever you have in your wardrobe, make sure that it's of quality. You're not, because especially, when basically start heading towards 40s, I think, the quality matters a lot. You can't wear cheap clothes from Shein or Shine. Yeah. So I think, because that is the thing I notice, in clothing a lot, which is the material. Because, and it does not, necessarily have to be, from a good store, but, there are many, like, store, where, they do sell quality, where the material is really good. So you just, I think, you just, have to have an eye for that material.
When it comes to the basics and the essentials, my recommendation always is like make sure you invest in very good quality. So it's important that you check the material, like you were saying. These are gonna be your most worn pieces in the wardrobe. So that means you're gonna wash them more often as well. You're gonna wear them all the time. So you want to make sure the material is, very, very good quality, comfortable, that you are happy how it feels, when you wear it, because so like I said, it's gonna be the most worn. So
Yeah.
it's important.
And I think spending into quality stuff also becomes important, because quality stuff, they last longer. Like, some of the quality stuff, that I have, I mean, I have been, wearing those stuff for the last 3 to 4 years because of the material, because, they are still in good condition. So I 100% agree with.
Listen, I have things that since I'm a teenager. The
Yeah.
other day, I was recording another podcast, and the girl asked me if I could, present or, walk her through what I was wearing. And
Yeah.
actually, I told her everything that I have on right now, I've had for years. This is the good thing about curating your wardrobe and
Yeah.
having clarity in the
Yeah.
way that you want to present yourself, and the clothes that you have there,
Yeah.
that it's all done to in a way, that you love it so much that you don't feel that you have to replace it all the time, or
Yeah.
that you have to, jump into the trends just because you feel outdated.
Yeah.
Actually, your wardrobe is like connected to you and who you are as a person.
Yeah.
So it's very important. And like I said, I have things since I'm a teenager that I keep wearing now. And again, this is because it's like very good quality. I love it. It resonates with me still today, So yeah.
So because, you mentioned that, there are some of the clothes that, you know, uh, that you wear, which has been, with you, since you were a teenager. So that brings to my next question, because women's body, they change over time. I mean, the body that I had 10 years ago, I do not have it right now. And that is the problem that, I think, almost all of the women have. So my question is that, I mean, the thing that used to look good, on them doesn't look good anymore. So how can they find clothes that actually flatter them now? How do they know that, okay, this is my body shape and this is, what going to suit me? Because, yeah, I think, this is the major challenge, because, bodies change and we even do not realize that, our bodies has changed over a period of time. And what can we do about, I mean, what kind of, clothing, should we wear that flatter our body now?
Well, I think you have already said it. It's all about understanding your body shape, like what fits you. The problem is that we keep kind of copying others because we don't understand what we are doing,
Yeah,
right? So if you don't have an understanding on what fits and flatters your body shape, it's going to be very difficult. You're going to keep buying clothes
yeah,
based on what you like, on
yeah,
others. And then you're going to buy those things. And when you put on yourself, of course, doesn't fit because the body shape is different.
yeah,
So you need to have clarity on and, assess
yeah,
your body shape,
yeah,
your proportions,
yeah,
and your lifestyle needs as
yeah,
well,
yeah,
right? And
yeah,
then from there, you understand what to wear when which cuts, which tops, and all this. Something that because it's important as well to you know have clarity into, okay, what are the parts of your body
yeah.
that you want to highlight because you're
Highlight.
very comfortable with them, and
Yeah.
which are the ones that you want to keep quiet,
Yeah, that you
right?
want to hide.
So
Yeah, yeah,
coming from here, not
yeah,
only knowing your body shape, because this is not about knowing also only like, okay, I'm a pear, I'm an apple, I'm whatever shape you are. It's more about, okay, now I have this shape. I know people that have like curvy body types, but they don't want to appear as curvy. And there are other women, that they prefer to actually highlight that even more. So this is a matter of taste,
yeah,
but you need to actually be kind of like, be clear with yourself and say, okay, which are the parts that I want to highlight, right, from my body? And then you're going to put the focal point on
yeah,
those parts. You're
yeah,
going to keep the other ones quiet.
yeah,
And then you take it from there. Like at this age, because you said like it changed, you don't know, things that are clothing that flatters a lot of people and body types are like, for example, high rise
yeah,
jeans.
yeah, yeah,
Uh, when it comes to dresses, think of wrapped dresses or A-line dresses.
yeah, yeah,
You also have to consider the fabrics,
yeah,
to so go for soft but structured fabrics
yeah,
that instead of cling, they kind of flow and have movement. Think of tops, in a strategic way, like how to the
yeah,
draping,
yeah,
of the tops.
yeah,
So yeah, is of course before when we were in our 20s, it was more about tight clothes, right? And
yeah,
kind of showing your body
yeah,
type.
yeah,
And
yeah,
as we move forward in our life, it's more about being comfortable, right, and feeling like the fabric. So you have to consider what are the fabrics that you're gonna use, so you're comfortable on them.
So I have, because I completely understand, because I have seen that women, but many women, they have their pooch, out, which there is nothing wrong. It just it is just bodies change over a period of time. But I have seen that one major mistake, and I have seen it on so many women, them wearing the tight fitting dress, that tight dress, and that is actually highlighting that pooch, because people are behind, because
Yeah,
and very I think accurately you have put it, that you should basically think that what are the body parts that you want to flaunt, and what are the
Yeah.
body parts that you want to hide. Dress
Yeah.
accordingly.
Clothing is amazing, understanding the proportions. When you understand and you have clarity on your body shape, you can basically play, how you balance your proportions there. So, like I said, you can highlight areas that you're really, really comfortable and confident with.
Yeah.
And put all the attention there and quiet the other areas. I've seen the other day and a reel, a woman was wearing the same dress. It was like a drop dress, so
Yeah, yeah,
like you say, it was more flowy here, exactly the same dress and the same fabric. It was like silky, like the one I'm wearing right now.
yeah.
The only thing that she was doing is like changing the pattern and the color on the dress. But she was wearing exactly the same dress and then changing the accessories, right? So she was wearing different shoes, different jewelry, and even the bag. And it was feeling like she was super stylish. But I thought, how smart, because this is when you understand, what flatters your body type.
Yeah.
It's not about having a massive wardrobe. It's more about knowing exactly what are the pieces that flatter you and fit you. And once you have identified those hero pieces in your wardrobe,
Yeah.
the same comes to trousers, and everything. All you have to do is like replicate. So, you don't have to go out there and keep buying and not knowing and copying, because now you know exactly this is the fit for my jeans, for my tailored trousers, and even the blazers. Like I said before, have a blazer in your wardrobe. It doesn't have to be like a well-fitting blazer, like tailored or anything very formal. It can also be like an oversized blazer, depending
Yeah.
on your style,
Yeah.
right? But it's more about you understanding this is what really complements my body. And then just having those things, you replicate your clothes, in terms of fitting. And then you actually pay attention to how you accessorize your wardrobe in a way that it makes it feel different every time, depending on your mood, how you feel, and your commitments. And that's way more, smart, a smart way of curating your wardrobe, rather than just keeping, more clothes all the time, just because you are trying to, you're chasing trends, right?
Actually, this is something what I do. If I like any dress and I know that if it is looking good on me, I actually buy two, three in different colors.
But exactly, that's amazing, because now this is, what I like. I feel confident in it. I love it. Why not? You
Why
can
not?
also go for other patterns, and then again, when you go back to buy other dresses or things, make sure, just know, okay, this is the fit that
Yeah,
is good for me.
yeah,
So stick to that,
yeah,
and then choose different fabrics, choose different patterns, different colors.
yeah.
And like I said, I watched this woman, I think it was like 6, 7 different outfits she was presenting in the reel, but exactly the same dress. It wasn't feeling like, oh, look, she's wearing all the time the same thing.
Uh,
She was styling it in
yeah,
different ways. So,
yeah,
and then, of course, she was looking fantastic,
yeah.
because it's what flatters her, right? So, yeah.
I think, okay, what happens is that, okay, when we talk about, scarves and, when we talk about handbags and earrings, when we talk about accessories. So, are there any simple tricks to make an outfit look more polished and put together? And I'm just, asking for me, I do not like to accessorize it too much because I do not like to, accessorize, myself. So, is there any simple trick to make an outfit look more polished and put together? Because if I'm wearing something like, for example, I'm wearing a dress, then what is the way that I could make it look more polished? Because yeah, and it's just part of my personality that I do not like to accessorize myself unless the occasion demands it. Pretty like me, what would be the simple trick to basically make it look more polished and put together?
So outfits, polishing an outfit is all about like clean lines, good fit,
Yeah,
and small details. You know, you don't have to add a lot of things to it. It's more about paying attention to the details.
Yeah.
There are small tweaks that make like a massive difference.
Yeah.
For example, you can tack in your top. You know, it can be like a full tack or a
Yeah.
French tack, which is
Yeah.
just like one side.
Yeah.
This is great to balance proportions. It makes your legs look longer, you
Longer.
know. Yeah. Another thing that is very important is make sure your clothes are always ironed or
Yeah.
steamed your clothes, you know, so you look like you said, polished and you know, neat. You can roll your
Yeah.
in a way, you know, like to show that is like intentional styling, right?
Yeah.
So what you are doing, you're paying attention to what you are wearing. You're just not throwing clothes on you.
Yeah.
Now you're, you know, like you can roll your sleeves or even, you know, your the calves,
Yeah.
your
Yeah.
trousers.
Yeah.
What else? Match, you know, match your accessories
Yeah.
in a subtle way. It can
Yeah.
be like your shoes with your bag
Yeah.
or your shoes with your belt. You can add a third piece to your
Correct.
look.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
now say you have decided to wear like jeans, a t-shirt and trainers
Yeah.
or boots, doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Now you can go and add a third piece, which can be like a vest, a
Yeah.
blazer,
Yeah.
or a coat, you know, and it makes it more interesting. It kind of elevate,
Yeah.
right? Like your outfit a little bit. And what other things? And well, always make sure like your shoes and your bag are in very good condition.
Yeah.
So if you're wearing trainers, you know, make sure usually people go for white trainers,
Yeah.
but it doesn't matter. Even if they have like a pattern or they're
Yeah.
colored,
Yeah.
make sure, you know, they're clean,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
they're in good condition as
Yeah.
well as the bag, you know, it's like important. And then that's gonna, all those little things are
Yeah.
gonna make your styling like very intentional, even if you don't add many accessories, right? Like you said, you want to keep it quiet,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
make it polished.
Make it polished. You have to make sure that your I think the one important thing which is make sure that your shoes and your bags are in good condition. But oh, this is
As well
something.
as your clothes, right? But I
Yeah.
mean, like, iron your clothes, don't just
Yeah.
throw things on you. It's
Yeah.
more like I said, this is more about paying attention to very little details, and
Yeah.
it doesn't cost anything, right? Because what does it cost you, for example, to roll your sleeves up,
Yeah.
right? You can do it
Yeah.
on your tops, but you can also kind of roll your
Yeah.
blazer.
Yeah.
You know, it's things that it sounds like small, but when you do it, it makes a big difference, you know, when people look at you and to your outfit.
Pay attention to small details because small details actually they do matter a lot and they kind of elevate your look. So you're like, okay, now, it's all love, looking put together. I 100,
Yeah.
agree with that 100%. I think, you have already, answered my next question, which is, you know, how do we add personality to our outfits, without, feeling over the top? Because, and what's the best way to do that? What's the best way to add personality to my dressing without, going over the top? That because for middle-aged women, I'm sure that most of them, they do not, want to go for the over the top look unless, that is part of your personality.
So don't focus only on the clothes. This is a mistake that we all do, is we focus a lot only on the clothes that we want to wear, but we are not paying attention to, again, to the accessories. And that's the part where you are putting like your personality and adding, you know, like your taste to your wardrobe. It doesn't mean you have to go for all of them. You can actually decide, like I said, if you love shoes, you know, put your attention on the shoes. What you add in there, it can be, like I said before, belts. It can be like a scarf with a fun print.
Yeah, yeah,
It can be like a structure bag in a bold color, you
yeah,
know, that resonates with
yeah,
you.
Yeah.
or even your shoes, instead of going, for, like I said before, white trainers, you can decide, okay, I love trainers. Okay, now go and decide on a colored one, that resonates with you.
Yeah.
And then also textures are a good way to add personality into your wardrobe. So it can be like velvet,
Yeah.
silk,
Yeah.
tweed,
Yeah.
that's a good way, or even patterns like the shirt that I'm wearing right now is a good way of adding your, personality to your wardrobe.
Basically, trying out different materials, different patterns, will add personality to your
Yeah.
outfit without.
Jewelry, decide on jewelry speaks to you and your style. You can do things and then you can decide, right? It's like, I love earrings. Well, pay attention to that. Add lovely earrings, to your wardrobe. You don't have to go for everything. Decide on one thing
Yeah.
and, build your wardrobe based on that. You can layer if you love necklaces, layer them, in a way that it feels interesting.
Yeah.
Um,
So speaking of I think we have talked a lot about adding accessories and knowing your body and basically colors, patterns, material. Now, what colors? Let's talk about colors. What colors should women wear to look fresh and vibrant instead of looking completely washed out?
so it's important that you stick to colors that enhance your skin tone. So, for example, like cool skin tones
Yeah.
glow in Yule tones,
Yeah.
like emerald,
Yeah.
sapphire,
Yeah.
deep reds,
Yeah.
or even pastel colors.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then warm skin tones look radiant in earthy shades,
Yeah. Yeah.
kind of like olive, mustard,
Yeah.
rusty red, and pinks.
Yeah.
Neutral colors that suit everybody are navy and camel, even deep gray. Yeah, we everybody tends to go to the black because
Yeah.
it's the easiest one to combine, but I would avoid using black a lot if you feel like it drains you.
Yeah.
It happens to most of us,
Yeah.
because only if you have like a winter color palette, it's going to look good on you. But if you're an autumn like me, for example, that is like a warm
Yeah.
skin tone, black doesn't look as good,
Yeah.
on me. So for people that feel that black kind of drains them, I
Yeah.
would suggest go for like a deep navy or a charcoal as your neutral, color in your wardrobe, rather than black.
Actually,
It's
I
gonna
completely.
look much better
Yeah. Yeah.
than, yeah.
Yeah. Actually, I completely agree because navy blue is the color that suits me a lot, and the one color that makes me look very dull is the chocolate color. Every time I wear it, and because brown, like like, it gets camouflaged. So yeah, that is the color that makes my complexion like yeah, basically, and it doesn't, make me glow. Like, it makes me look dull. So brown is the
Stick to
color.
colors. Colors are very interesting when it comes to wardrobe, because they're very connected to how we feel and our psychology, how people perceive you as well. So it's important to at least have like three accent colors. You can start here, right? Instead, because unless you have had your color analysis done to understand your color palette and which shades are the ones that fit your complexion, the best.
Yeah.
You don't know, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Unless, like you're saying, unless that okay, this is the color that really looks good on me. So I would suggest stick to those and then decide on three accent colors that you're gonna have on your wardrobe. And then also try to build all your wardrobe based on that. So you have the neutrals, of course, that are important to have there, but then choose just like 2 to 3 colors and stick to those, because that's going to make it very easy when it comes to mix and matching your outfits and your wardrobe,
Yeah.
right? So it helps you understand that, okay, I know these colors go together. And when you have to pick outfits, it's easier because those colors go, they look good on you, they resonate, with you. So yeah.
Okay, so now, we have, talked about the color that, how some colors, such as navy blue and camel, looks good on everybody. And, how there are, certain colors that look good on, certain skin tone. And yeah,